Welcome to Champions Battlefield. I'm your host, Trevor Carroll. With me in studio today is my broadcast partner, Jamak Alshani. We have via Skype former 2-division champion, Chris Bukwas Anderson. Chris, welcome back.
Chris, let's jump right in, man. Would you ideally like to jump back into the cage as early as March 17th?
I don't know, man. That might be a little too soon. I might like to, but also I still haven't got back to training yet after a 5-round fight. It's a pretty tough fight, so I don't know if that's enough time to recover and get back into shape. But if I'm open to offers, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Speaking of that fight, 5-round fight, did you feel like you were behind in that 5th round, and did you go in there trying to finish the fight?
5th round for sure, yeah. I felt like I was down because of the top control. I knew he wasn't doing a whole lot, but you can't deny the top control and the takedowns. I knew it was like close, but I felt like it was 3-1 for him at that point. So, I gave it all I had to try to knock him out. Like I was gassed. I think maybe in the 2nd or the 3rd, I was just pooped, man. And at that point, like I had nothing left. So yeah, but anyway, I tried to finish him, and I knew if I got taken down in the 5th, it was done. Like I was just gonna roll over and tap out because I had enough of that shit, just getting laid on, and I was just tired. So I did everything in my power to try to knock him out and to stop the takedowns, and I didn't get taken down, and I was able to land one really good uppercut, but man, Dwyer was tough. He didn't even really buckle when it hit him, and yeah, that's how she goes.
Except in that 1st round, I remember one of the very first shots that you hit him with, you buckled him. Actually, the first 2 shots that you hit him with, you buckled him. Did you expect that kind of reaction from him off the first 2 hits?
Yeah, sort of. Like I knew I had power. Like here's the thing, I was like torn between like, am I gonna try to rush him in the 1st, or do I want to conserve some energy and take this fight later on? Like both have their risks and rewards, and I think I chose the wrong one. I went all out and was putting everything into a lot of big punches, which gassed me out right away, and I don't usually do that, but I really I think some of the animosity and all that and made me fight a little different, and I was trying to take his head off early, and you see me swing like a lot of haymakers that just missed, and it was a lot of energy wasted. And but I knew I could hurt him. I thought I could knock him out, but he was really tough. He he dropped to a knee for a second, popped back up, and then I don't think he really wanted to exchange in the pocket after that. He kept his distance, or he closed it, right?
Chris, you're clearly at the top of the local scene. You're at the top of the heap, and you've had pretty good success on the island, training with your training partners and Bill Fraser. Do you ever think about moving to a different camp where you have maybe access to other training partners that are your size, at a higher level, kind of like Rory did when he moved to TriStar to train with the likes of GSP?
You know what? Sure. I think it's getting to the point where I may need to go somewhere where there's a lot of other professional fighters training who are in similar situation. Training in fight camp. But like one place I'm gonna start going to more is Zuma Martial Arts. But other than that, I got no other places that I really wanna go to, because I'm just gonna be some random drop in, and not gonna get any extra pointers in the gym, and then you're gonna have to go there and survive, and who knows what's going to happen. So it's kind of hard to choose where to go, because you wouldn't want to go to some gym where you're nobody and get your ass punched out in training, right? Or get injured or knocked out or whatever it is. Like, that kind of stuff can happen. So it's kind of hard. I like training where I'm training because, I trust everyone. Bill's a good coach. He knows a lot on the ground, and I know nobody's going to try to break my arm or tear my knee off or try to knock me out in training. So, in that sense, like, I'm comfortable, and there's still a lot of good guys coming down to the gym, like Andrew Buckland and Nathan Swayze. Once in a while, Mike Hacker pops in. But for sure, I'm going to start moving camps around and trying to find places to train.
Chris, as a 2-division champ, you fought for BFL 10 times. What would you like to see the promotion do for you, like, kind of as your career develops, that sort of the next thing you'd like to see? What's your relationship like with the promotion, and what would you like to see the promotion do for you?
Yeah, I think the relationship is good with the promotion. I got no complaints. I think everything's going good, I always got fight offers, and they're good fight offers, and other than that, I don't really need much or anything like that.
Do you with the new pay-per-view model, what are your thoughts on that? And also, do you think of any adjustments in terms of the percentage that goes to the main event fighters versus other fighters? Is there any thoughts you have on that, and any changes you'd like to see made?
No, I got no complaints. Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea, and I don't know. Yeah, I got no complaints or ideas for changing.
Sweet. Tell us a little bit about your trip to Vegas when you went for the Ultimate Fighter. Tell us a little bit of the story of what happened, how things went, and what kind of exposure you got.
Not a lot happened, like, it sucked, man. I got like 2 hours sleep or some shit, and I had to go down. I had to wake up early, and I just couldn't sleep for whatever reason, just being excited or whatever. And as far as exposure, like, no, I didn't. We talked to some of the other guys who were there applying for the show. There's some other guys from Canada we talked to, and
what about agents and whatnot in Vegas? Did you run across any sports agent? Did anybody approach you?
Not there, no. We were talking with Max Holloway's coach, or not coach, sorry, his manager. Like, I had like half a dozen managers contacting me and telling me to check out their agency or whatever, right? So Max Holloway's guy was really cool. He seemed really cool to deal with, and that's kind of the guy we chose out of all the ones who were talking to us. And we just texted him and whatever. Anyways, he said he knew the guy. He'd put in a good word, and it looked like I was pretty high on the list for welterweights.
Mm.
They ended up choosing featherweight and lightweight based on, they said it was because of numbers, because of how many competitors showed up. But anyway, like, we did some live rolling. I think I rolled against a guy from Cowboys Throne. He's BMF or Ranch or whatever the hell it is, and almost got my arm broken. That's the shitty thing. It was like, all right, here you guys got a minute and a half to roll, so everyone's just going all out, like, for the kill, right? And that's what I was worried about, like, shit, because I didn't even give a shit about the Ultimate Fighter at that point. Like, I was just tired, and I was like, damn, this sucks. And I had a fight to worry about, so I was like, nah, this isn't even really. I kind of had a feeling like going to it, I was like, I bet you they're going to choose the other two weight classes. Like, I don't know. So anyway, I wasn't disappointed. That's what I expected. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, it was pretty uneventful. Like, you a minute and a half rolling, then you did like a minute and a half hitting pads, and there's like 4 guys hitting pads at once, and it lasts a minute. So I don't know, they might see you throw one combo, and then you do an interview, and like people were getting eliminated every round, and I made it through all the process down to the last little bit of welterweights. So I mean, everything went well, but yeah, they ended up choosing the other weight classes, and it is what it is.
Chris, going back to your last fight with Dwyer real quick here, did you ever think that he would change his style up? I mean, you kind of alluded to this a few minutes ago when we were talking about the fight and, you know, like not standing with you and banging in the pocket.
Yeah, I definitely, I didn't expect that many takedown attempts. Like I said in an interview, I said, I bet you I hit him with a few big shots, he's probably going to shoot it. But I wasn't expecting that. That was like a constant, like a desperation. Like he wanted that takedown all the time, and it was pretty frustrating. But I expected him to throw a lot more like teep kicks and leg kicks, and I thought he was going to try to strike me for sure.
Would you ever consider going up to Toshiro and training with Dwyer, since you guys are both, you know, top welter, top in the division, and you'd make pretty good training partners?
Kind of like when Rory went over to train with GSP at TriStar, they were like probably the two top guys in Canada at the time in their respective divisions. Do you think that would be beneficial to either of you to go to train together now that, or would you be able to put aside the kind of animosity that kind of got built up towards the fight?
I don't know. I'd prefer a rematch before I did some training, but I don't know. Yeah, I bet you it's some good training. David Lee is a real cool guy, and I bet they got some good competitive sparring and all that stuff down there. But
just to go off what you just said, I think you would probably like a rematch, right? Do you think things would be a lot different now that you've seen the quality of opponent that Matt Dwyer is?
For sure. Well, I mean, if there's a rematch, like I said earlier, like the only thing that I would change is swinging those haymakers. Like I usually don't do that, and wasting like that much energy. That kind of set me on a downhill spiral until the fifth, where I finally got a little bit of wind back and tried, and then I went right back to it. Right, started swinging some bombs, but that animosity, like I was really trying to take his head off, and that was the only thing I'd change. Is I would just fight the way I normally fight, and I would do that. Like, you know, I usually feel out the first little bit with some rangefinders and some Diaz like kind of boxing, and then I'll start mixing in some bombs as the fight goes on. But so I mean, yeah, that's the only thing I would change is my approach. Is I wouldn't worry about all the animosity and trying to go for the knockout. Like, you know, it would have been a lot better if I fought my own fight. But I almost think with some of the interviews, I think they had a little bit of a game plan there, like to maybe get me out of my game, you know, with all the online trash talk and this and that. But and then obviously I'd expect him to be wrestling that much, you know. I was really expecting a stand-up fight, but either way, it is what it is. I would like a rematch because it was a close fight. I don't really feel like we resolved it, you know. I was hoping one of us was gonna get knocked out or submitted, but you know, it is what it is, and who knows what's next. He expressed that he's not interested in the rematch, and nobody can make him do that. So it might be time to move on, maybe back to welterweight, or who knows.
Chris, kind of taking this in a different direction, would you like to see BFL do a show in Nanaimo this year and have you headline it?
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm not big about the whole spotlight and the selling out and main event and all that. Like, that stuff really doesn't matter to me. I mean, I think it would be cool for my followers, I guess, because then they don't got to take the ferry. And so, yeah, it would be cool, but I'm not too worried about it.
All right. When you visualize the career of Bukwas in this sort of next 12 months here, if you had to paint a picture step by step, how would you unfold it? What would you do? How do you see it happen?
I don't know, man. I never think too far ahead because you just never know what's going to happen. But did you say in the next year?
Yeah.
You know what? If I'm lucky, I can get 3 wins over the next 12 months, and maybe that'll get me an opportunity to fight in the UFC. That's a huge maybe. 3 fights, that's pretty tough. There's no more easy fights out there. So, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm just going to take it one fight at a time, and we'll see what happens,
Okay. Last question here. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to rattle off some names here. And then what I want you to do is tell me the first word or first 1 or 2 words that come to your mind, all right? You ready?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. First name, not surprising, Matt Dwyer.
First thing that comes to mind, I don't know. Get into any.
Come on, dude. You're not supposed to think. First word that comes
just
to your
one
mind.
word. You just got to think of one word. Just whatever comes off.
I don't know, a wrestler? Jeez,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, next one. Ryan Ventura.
Ryan Ventura. I don't know, man. Like, what? Can I skip on this game? I don't know. I don't really want to play this.
All right, brother. That's
I don't
fine.
know.
That's all right. No problem, man. Trevor, did you have
How
something?
about Cole Smith? You know Cole Smith, right?
Yeah.
Anything good you can say about him?
Anything good? I don't know. No, I'm drawing a blank here.
You guys both met down in Vegas. You guys spent a little bit of time together, right?
Yeah, just at the tryouts, we hung out there. We meant to meet up, but it was just too hard to set up, locations and traveling and all that shit. So,
Can I just ask you one question that's just kind of like off the book? How good is it to see like 2 champions go down to Vegas and represent Battlefield? Not just in terms of like you guys are representing Battlefield, but they know that the quality of level that you guys are at, you can go and represent yourself anywhere in the world as like a champion, and just say like I'm a world champion, and then you could probably literally get yourself a fight anywhere in the world. How good does that feel to like reach that level?
that's pretty cool, man. I don't know. Yeah, for me it was a little weird. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. It's kind of like I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause you see like the UFC matchmakers and like Sean Shelby and Derek Lewis, and there's like Joe Stevenson, all these guys. So it was trippy. Like, you don't believe it, but it's right in front of you, type of thing. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool though.
Do you think with having all this stuff like just within your reach, it's a goal for yourself now to get up like one more step up to that level?
I'm sorry. What's that? Is that my
Yeah,
goal?
is that going to be like are you going to like redouble your efforts just to make it up to that level and get up to the pro ranks of the UFC or Bellator or wherever else?
Yeah, man. I gotta get there. Otherwise, it's pointless. There's not enough money to survive or to do anything. Like, so I can't waste my time too long. And like, I gotta double up my efforts to keep myself alive. Now I'm like, I was already in survival mode. Like I said before, one loss was gonna be it for me, right? And that was true. But like, I can't go out on that loss. Like, you know what I mean? And the thing is like I made it from a small little town, a little valley. I made it to the biggest fight in Canada, and you know, Matt Dwyer's a real tough guy. He's had a lot of fights. He, you know, had the UFC competition. And I took it to decision and gave him a good fight, and there's no shame in that. When I watched the fight, like, I'm not disappointed in my performance. You know, remembering what it felt like at the beginning of the fifth, I can't believe that I actually was able to put on that much of a performance, and you know, and so that being said, moving forward, I can take that, I could learn from it. It was real good. But I can't take another loss. Like if I go back to welterweight, let's say I want to do three welterweight fights, I gotta win all three of those to even be considered for stepping up in competition. And if I take another loss, that sets me back how much more. Like I can't do that. So I gotta step my game up just to survive if I want to keep doing this. Like, it's kind of weird. I kind of hate this game. I'm talking like MMA. I kind of hate it, but I can't walk away. Like, there's something I want to keep doing it, and I know that the window's small for competing in that sort of thing. Oh shit, my phone's dying here. And so that being said, like I want to survive, and I want to give it one go. And so these next few fights are gonna have to go pretty darn good if I want to make a successful career out of this.
All right, Chris, we'll let you go. Your phone's dying. We'll say goodbye before it dies. Thanks a lot for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you down here in the studio for the next one.
Cool, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. Take care.
You too.